relic casket is now being placed within the Ranhili Gate, mounted on the adorned tusker, who will light up the Kumal Perahera.
Marking the beginning of the Thanri Asala Perahera, in fact, the second Kumal Perahera to be dedicated to Lord Guru, we see the Perahera visuals of the flowers and flowers to the Perahera casket.
And this is the devout moment when the great tusker steps majestically down from the Mahavahalkada to the Sandagala in preparation to walk the streets of the city.
And today, this tusker who is fortunate enough to carry the sacred burden of the relic casket at the second Kumal Perahera is Indiraja. As we see the bird eye view of the Kandyan city as well as Sri Dalada Malikava, we are now about to witness the beginning of the second Kumal Perahera of the Asala procession.
The whip wielders mark the beginning of the Perahera. When the rain god pours down life-giving water from the sky, there we hear the roaring sound of the thundering. This is the very sound symbolized by these lashing whips. They fill the Kandyan sky and the hearts of the weavers alike. This is why the whip wielders are tasked with paving the way for the approaching Perahera and the sacred relic casket.
The annual Perahera, which is held in the month of Asala, usually in the month of Asala, but this time in the month of August, is believed to trigger the monsoon. In fact, as Isuru mentioned earlier as well, the whip wielders symbolize the thunder which precedes the rain. In single file, the whip wielders notify the citizenry of the impending approach of the relic casket as well as the entire procession.
Usually, when the whipmasters are wielding their whips, there used to be people throwing coins into the paths of the whipmasters as an offering to ward off evil from their children and to smooth their life paths. But unfortunately, this year, due to the corona pandemic situation, we don't see such crowd. However, the performers are still, with full faith and devotion, are carrying out this generation-given task.
The whipmaster's duty is handed down from generation to generation of their clans. According to our traditions, Peraharas that do not have this pedigree are not even worth being called such. And today, this group of whip wielders is led by Upali Jairatna.
Although the whip conjures up fear in most minds, the sight of the Perahara whipmasters has the opposite effect. It is calming the populace, since they are the ones who clear the way for the holy Perahara casket to be carried in the streets of the city.
These whip crackers produce a sound which is equivalent to the sound of lightning strikes. And the reason for this is to pay homage to rain gods, requesting to bless our crops and cultivations with rain. And as they are about to leave our sight, we are about to see yet another beautiful sight which comes after the whip wielders, which is the fire dancers.
Indeed, Sachini, the balls of fire is a spectacular sight in the Kandy Asala Perahara. The fireball wielders create cyclic patterns in the dark sky, reminding the lay spectators of the lightning that marks a soon-to-be rain. While it may seem as a sport for the young performers, the elders see it rather as a sacred duty to please the gods.
Exactly, Suru. As you mentioned very clearly, the lightning which usually comes with the rains, it's a phenomenon of nature, and that is magnificently depicted by this group of fireball dancers.
Once the oil-soaked rags are lit and tied to the ends of the wielding sticks with leather thongs, they are akin to lightning strikes to the eye.
Those blinding flashes are a cooling heat in the Kandy Asala procession. This is the heritage of the traditions of our fireball dancers.
The sun, moon, earth, universe, solar month, night and day are all cyclic, and the fire dancers highlight these universal cycles and how they burn and cool us in our life cycles.
In fact, Isuru, when it comes to the Kandy Asala procession, there are several terms and there are several specific names which are attributed to several performances. And in Sinhala, this turning of the fireballs is called Pandampalia. And when it is translated, we can translate it as a play of fire, a performance of fire.
Indeed, Sachini. And these dancers tame fire and give it as a Dalada offering, mindful of its part in cooking, protecting crops and chenas, and dispelling darkness, while creating curiosity, satisfaction, and amazement to the people who are weaving the procession.
These fireball dances are led by E.D. Tilakaratna today in the second Kumbal Perahara. And the true import of these dances is seen when a large group of them perform simultaneously, merging their various fairy elements into an amazing display of light and heat. The tradition is usually handed down from generation to generation, and you can see how it is a collective effort in order to make this pageant or this grand procession of Asia a beautiful one.
The fiery life cycle awash in desire, ignorance, and anger is highlighted by the chakras painted by these fire dancers.
The dancers are seen creating their paintings of fire across the night skies as they move in procession.
Following them, we can now see the flag bearers led by a Sri Lankan flag.
The sight of the Buddhist flag creates a sense of unreflecting joy on the part of the people weaving the Kandy procession. And these flag bearers